All right, everyone. First off, thanks for taking the time to listen to us. Turnout's been great. Kevin and Matt, you guys do amazing things for the channel. So a little bit of background on Blackpoint and us. We came from a little bit of different life previously. I spent about 12 years at the National Security Agency, really more on the offensive side. So I've had the fortunate privilege to conduct technical operations and the whole spectrum of intelligence operations, really. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is really from a bit of a business and a technical perspective, because my background is on the deep technical side. So obviously you get a sense of a little bit of our pedigree from our board of directors here that we've assembled, but let's get into this. So what I'm hearing predominantly when talking to MSPs, specifically on the security side, is I get questions like, how do I pick my stack? What should be in it? Should I have a default stack? Should I upsell? We see a big challenge with a lot of, and this is, hard on the MSP side as well, but we see challenges where you do let's say you sold an EDR one year and then you sold MDR next, and how do you show value if there wasn't a hack, right? So I think where our industry is really moving to is more of a default standard stack. I think this aligns you better with insurance. It makes your value proposition a lot stronger when you go to a customer as a security first MSP that has kind of embraced those 5 core pillars of NIST, of asset identification, hardening, elite level detections, a real-time response capability, and then essentially right of boom, if all else fails, you have an ability to live to fight another day with backup disaster recovery, cyber insurance. And I think, for us, this is the mentality with which we look at, protecting your customers. Because I think a lot of times, if your customer buys, let's say, a Security Plus package from you, the one that didn't get ransomware, at the end of the day, they're not going to parse these kind of upsells that you've done. You're going to get blamed. Likely that cyber insurance is going to get involved, and that'll put your company, I think, in a disadvantage. And here's another benefit of really heavily leaning in on the security side. If you look at valuations of companies, they're higher if they have a really strong security play. It's just the way of our world today. So when you think, I know they asked a question up front on the exit front, I think companies that have a really mature, standardized stack that is thought through with good margins pushed out, you're going to watch those MSPs generate a higher valuation. So a little bit on us. We're known for managed detection and response. We're really a software company at our core. Everything we use, we build ourselves. I spent probably $8 million in about three years coding before we ever even came to market to make sure that our products were operating at elite level. MSP is our entire base. It's our focus. We, however, do this for large enterprise as well, which shows our ability, I think, to scale. So at a high level, we're an ecosystem play. MDR is how you get in the door, cloud-based multi-tenant, but we also have a play for login compliance, and this is our logic product. To us, we find running a SIEM-based platform is actually really hard to catch hackers' line rate. You have a huge data issue. You tend to get into cost issues, and when you're the line rate analyst, trying to piece together logs, even with some analytics on top from so many disparate sources to take an action takes way too long. However, things like HIPAA, PCI, CMMC do require some log retention. That doesn't equal you have to run a SIEM. It equals you have to have an ability to collect logs, detect malware, malicious breaches, that thing. So logic is our way to do very easy flat rate event log collection, Windows, file integrity monitoring, syslog, but also have a full-on compliance reporting effort. Cloud Response, this is a new product of ours we're really, really excited about. This allows us to do live, essentially detection response in Azure and Microsoft 365. We're the first company in MDR to essentially cover on-prem, remote worker, and cloud workflows in Microsoft. To me, if you're going to play this game at an elite level, you really have to handle both. We've watched essentially a little bit of a decrease in ransomware activity over the past 12 months. Notwithstanding, the past month kicked back up again to levels we saw a year ago. I don't know if that'll hold or not. What we have seen also is a massive increase in business email compromise by way of brute force login. 11 days after we released this product, one of our upmarket customers had an MFA bypass attack in their 365 environment. We were able to detect it with this platform. In addition, Blackpoint Risk, we believe at the end of the day, cyber is part of a corporate risk management platform. And to bookend that on the kind of right of boom and live to fight another day, we've recently launched a wholesale insurance product that is underwritten by some of the largest cyber insurers in the world. But it's not just cyber, it's cyber, tech, E&O, and D&O. You can stay with your own retailer, so you don't have to change those relationships. And when it's tied to our product, you'll get much better, easier underwriting coverage and in pricing with that. We think these worlds are coming together and they have to stay. Recently at DattoCon, we also had a lot of new announcements on new products. So we have a whole new Windows agent role. Actually, it's mostly finished rolling out. We just launched our Mac agent beta. That will be GA in about 4 weeks. We also lean in heavy. We integrate with lots of AVs and EDRs. Those tools work with our endpoint agent as well. So that if we get an alert from, say, Sophos or SentinelOne, it'll trigger our endpoint agent to send data back. In addition, we've had huge demand for Microsoft Defender for endpoint. This is not the normal kind of old school built-in Defender. This is ATP, formerly called ATP Defender, their EDR. We have a full management overlay on top of that. This is at no extra cost. It's all part of the bundle and allows us to take over whitelisting. Our adversary pursuit group, which is our threat intelligence unit, puts their own custom threat intel based on what we're seeing in the real world in there. We've also released vulnerability scanning. We're going to continue to add to this, at no additional charge there. And then lastly, we wrapped it all together in a bundle. At the end of the day, we need to deliver a maximum amount of capability at a price point that our customers can tolerate so that they can standardize on the stack. This makes your selling process easier, your post-sales customer success engagements easier. And lastly, it makes you more insurable along with more valuable in our opinion. So I want to cover as long as I have enough time left here, a real quick example of a group we've been seeing targeting customers of MSPs and in some cases recently with us, MSPs themselves. This is the Black Cat ransomware group. Long story short, they won't get picked up by your EDR. These guys essentially leverage all free trials of things like total software deployment, SoftPerfect network scanner, Screen Connect, to do their dirty work. They're a really dangerous group. We've got a great track record against them. However, I want everyone to be aware of them. Lastly, if you're interested in learning more, just send an email to msp@Blackpoint Cyber. You don't have to put anything in the subject or body. You'll get an auto response. And stop by our booth for an opportunity for a $250 Amazon gift card, and I'll be there for Q&A. So please join me.